how do you kind of get now users to pay for products? Maybe more recently, how do you think about it? And, when it comes to monetization, like how do you, what's kind of the growth product
Yeah.
design take on that?
My well, then there's my take, and there was where the industry is headed, right? Like
Yeah.
my take for any consumer product, freemium seems to have won, right? Like nobody's going to. I mean, you'll have like if it's a really niche use case and you solve like a very small user need, people will pay, but generally users want to try before they buy, and subscriptions just provide additional value for like consumer products, right? For social companies, the scale is what makes drives the revenue, right? So because you can lean into the advertising aspect, but that's not everyone could be like a 3 billion daily active user company like Meta, for example, right? So and at that point you need to like figure out what are you willing to give away for free, what do you want to paywall. You definitely have to have some sort of like core aspect that a user will be happy with being using for free. B2B, on the other hand, I'd say is like probably the opposite, right? Like once you solve a company's need of, there's very clear saving of costs, reduction of costs, they will happily pay you for that. Cause like, it's a balance sheet. It's really easy to compare numbers and for them to just like pay a subscription when it saves like a certain percentage off of their like overhead. But for consumer stuff, you have to have some sort of free aspect or a trial period and ensure that users are using it. And then you remind them of how much value that brings if, they're out of the trial period. And the growth mindset in that space is like send them emails. Emails are so powerful. Like everyone hates them. We all hate
Mm.
getting them, but they're such a powerful re-engagement and growth lever. It's kind of funny because emails are also like a pain in the ass to design for because they're like writing in what like HTML like two or like CSS2 or like it's you have to use tables. It's wacky.
Yeah, for sure. It's always interesting, right? Like, yeah, with freemium products, always, you get the people to use the product for free for a bit. You kind of have those upgrade nudges for the trial and trial to paid and then paid to kind of, expansion. And then from there, like moving into, land and expand approaches if you want to get into enterprise. Now we're kind of seeing also a lot of changes in terms of like the whole pricing model, right? Like in over the last few years, there was kind of the traditional subscription. You pay for the service and you get pretty much everything. And then seat based pricing got introduced, right? Where you add team members, you pay for each seat. And I think now those are kind of going away, and we're seeing more and more usage based pricing. Right. In the Stripe session, the roundtable, we were talking a lot about gamification of pricing. And I think that's a pretty interesting area, especially when it comes for product designers. Like, how do you gamify, pricing, and how do you gamify people paying for products and kind of that whole usage base? How do you think about that as you're like playing around with products and also maybe with your current experience?
For sure.